balls.
I
But you
believe.
don't fight with biceps, you fight with the balls and with the heart.
Let's find out about that. Let's find out about who's got her. Let's put this to sleep.
Hey, good news. Dubois left on Charles. Come on, man. He was really shocked by that, and you really think it was Daniel Dubois himself that went up to Don Charles and pretty much said, "Listen, mate, I'm leaving." Come on, it was his dad. What do I make of it, bro? On just a development standpoint, he's with Tony Sims. Tony Sims, a good reputable trainer. Jeez, what a tongue twister that word is. It's probably not, but cause these are all done first time. I don't try and redo these videos, or majority of them anyways. But he's apparently with Tony Sims. That's not gonna last, man. Don Charles, you gotta remember, Don Charles was low on money. I'm pretty sure he had nobody literally on the stable other than Dubois. And you know, Dubois, especially knocking out Joshua, he's a star. He's a star, especially in every division, which they seem to make the most money. It was a star. So Don Charles was holding onto Daniel like I don't know, man, just probably just hogging him for money. Which can't fault him. End of the day, yeah, I mean, if you're low on money and that, and especially if someone's getting millions, you know. But money's not really the point. The point is he left Don Charles. The dad decided to cut Don Charles off, whether on good or bad terms. We like it was on bad terms. I mean, David Dubois actually nudged him. He nudged him with an elbow or something like that. He's been rude to him. Pretty sure Jerome Miller and who he fought after Jerome Miller. Now, he didn't say anything in the Joshua fight. Hergovich, that's it. He was quite rude to Don Charles if you watch back the fights and check through the the 1 minute breaks. That he's just sort of stubborn. He's not really giving Don Charles any time of day. The only time he gave Don Charles a time of day was, I'm pretty sure, literally about 3 weeks ago with Usyk. That's only 2 weeks ago, however long it was. That's the only time he gave him a time of day. You know what I mean? Nothing at what you were saying and everything, but yeah, I mean, Daniel Dubois clearly has some sort of special needs. Clearly not severe, but he's neurodivergent, isn't he? So it's unfortunate, isn't it, that his dad's gonna make their decisions, and if he is autistic, which chance he probably is, because if he weren't, he would have cut that dad off, because clearly he doesn't like change, in the sense that he needs his dad. His dad's like a comfort figure. Do you know what I mean? Now, I want to get back on Tony Sims. Tony Sims is a reputable trainer. That's Conor Ben. Pretty sure he has Johnny Fisher now, but I'm pretty sure he has Fisher. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's not really a good boxer. You know what I mean? He's not really a good boxer. And I'm not trying to say this lame, because then you got to tip your hat off to him at least. Do you know what I mean? Stepping in there and giving it a go. Against someone who's experienced like Dave Allen, but he has somebody else, and I can't remember the name. I'll just check for a second. Yes, that's it. Felix Cash and what's called his name? Lightweight, featherweight, Joe Cordina. Yeah. I know it's Joshua at the start, but he wasn't really Joshua's main trainer. He was just at the start, wasn't he? But yeah, Ram, let's just talk about how Tony seems to make Dubois less stiff, but it will probably be very hard to do, because Dubois is such a rigid person. I mean, you see the way he moves and everything. He's very his torso is very rigid. Do you know? When he throws shots, he's not really mobile. He's got good feet, but he's not explosive. Do you know what I mean? He's very heavy-handed and very strong. But he's probably got a bunch of FUD. You know what I mean? He's not an explosive puncher like who's an explosive puncher at heavyweight? Italma, for example. Italma or I guess you can even say Joshua back in his day. Ruiz. I know Ruiz and Italma are more so in the speed kills type category of an explosive puncher. But Joshua's like an explosive puncher, for example. You load up and you know, and the kinetic chain falls through. You need to rotate in the body, whether that's a right hand or a left hook. You know, Dubois doesn't seem to rotate a lot, especially with his left hook. You know what I mean? His left hook's an arm shot, but when there's so much natural FUD behind it, it's a power shot. You know what I mean? But I don't see what Tony Sims can do because I don't see what Tony Sims can do for Dubois because let's be honest, like the dad's a center of attention. He's like John Fury. Look at John Fury. Was it Fury versus Usyk 1? And there's Sugar Hill Stewart, and then there's John Fury. Sugar Hill Stewart saying, "Listen, Tyson or Luke." If anyone gets the reference, everyone gets the reference. But Luke getting him, you know what I mean? You got to stand in there with him. What's John Fury saying? Box a move. How can you box a move against someone better than you? You can't do that against someone better than you. You know what I mean? But and I mean that in respect that Usyk's a better boxer, better footwork, better movement, better agility, better hand speed. I mean, Fury's more elusive, but that's the point. Dubois, and Dubois been with Shane McGuigan. Shane McGuigan's had to cut off Daniel and his dad. The sister's still with Shane McGuigan. Who else? Don Charles. Don Charles is one. Who did he have? Who did Daniel Dubois have? He had a coach from Peacock. I don't know if it's an amateur coach, but look at that. I mean, he gave Dubois and his dad the boot. This is the thing. It's unfortunate because it's not gonna happen. Yeah. But if Dubois needs to tell his dad to go do one. Okay. But at the end of the day, Dubois is talented because look at how far he's gotten, and he's not really had a coach. He's been doing stuff on on his own accord. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, man, what do you expect, man? I mean, probably his amateur coach should listen to. Shane McGuigan he's listened to. I remember he's listening to Shane McGuigan about establishing a jab to then find a counter shot. You know what I mean? Slip out for the right hand. Don Charles made him a bit more rigid, and do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't really see what Don Charles really added to Daniel Dubois' game besides a couple body punches. I've hoped it helped them focus on maximizing power, maybe. But at the end of the day, you could punch. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much like a lackluster video, but it's like, what do you expect? It's not breaking news. It's not gonna change anything for Dubois. For what needs to change for Dubois is to get his dad, like, let his dad be more of a outside person, you know? I mean, his dad just seems like a shady motherfucker, really. But who knows? We'll see how things go. I won't be surprised if Tony Sims only lasts about. Well, when a fight camp starts, I won't be surprised if it only lasts about 4 or 5 months. But you know what I mean? Because the dad seems to be getting worse, seems to be getting a bit more braggadocious, but only time will tell. This is my video. Not the best one, if I'll be honest with you. But then again, I just go on the fly. The only thing I do is I just pause it just to search something up. But yeah, that's what I think. Peace.